No,
meet
no,
or?
no. So he comes here the 2nd of February. So he comes here on Friday. He's hosting a mastermind here. And so maybe, but I've been networking with a few guys on Instagram. I've been on the calls with maybe two or three of them as well who are attending. So hopefully it'll be
That's
good to meet up with some of them guys. And there's some guys as well who I went for dinner with who's in the new elite. So it's good to meet them. And hopefully I can make some provide some value with those guys as well. Connect them with some of the guys I've met out here. See what they think of each other.
that's pretty cool. I think it's so. It's actually quite cool. Does it not feel weird? Because I saw your post on Instagram this morning, like this time last year, like from the looks of it, like reading Atomic Habits to now.
Hmm.
What's like? Because I guess if anyone's watching this, like, what's the break? So what happened in the like last like let's say 12 months, 13 months? So did it actually
So,
start when you read Atomic Habits?
so what it was, luckily, is from a young age I've been training like martial arts, be it kickboxing, boxing, or jiu-jitsu. So I've
Yeah.
always had that. I've always had the mindset, and I've always understood the hardship it takes for success. Um, so I've been a hard worker in my jobs as well. And then I thought it was about 24 months ago. I was like, right, let's try and do something. Yeah, let's try and
Mm.
make something myself. So I started up a shoe cleaning company,
Okay.
like cleaning these high end, Gucci trainers, Balenciagas, Nike Dunks, all that sort of stuff. Um, Not to be completely honest, it wasn't incredibly lucrative, but I kept
Hmm.
going with it anyway, kind of waiting for that catalyst.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I didn't have the attention or the time to nurture it into something it could have been.
Yeah.
So yeah, I started reading loads about 2 months, 2 years ago. So I started reading loads. I started off with the seven habits of highly effective people,
Yeah.
and that was fantastic. And after I read that book, I was like, wow, I'm a nerd. I need to start reading. And then I
Mm.
read Atomic Habits, and after reading Atomic Habits, that kind of changed my life. That made me understand, like, okay, we need to take some accountability of ourselves, and if we want to go places, then no one else is going to take us there. It's got to be me.
So, was your main takeaway from that book like the accountability aspect? Because mine was really like step by step, like day by day. I need to kind of do something to move this needle forwards in some capacity, and over a long period of time, that will compound. That was like my main like takeaway. But it sounds like yours was more of the like kind of ownership and like taking responsibility for yourself.
Almost. I sort of found it as like a game. So I found the habits and creating new habits and habits stacking existing habits that I had kind of
Yeah.
fun. And I
Hmm.
almost seen it as like a game. And why wouldn't I want to add beneficial habits to my life, which over time are going to make an incredible rate of return? I saw it a little bit like investing my money into the S&P 500 because
Hmm.
I knew even if I didn't create a business and I didn't win the lottery, if I invested X amount a month, I would be a millionaire by the time I was like 45 anyway.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of way I looked at it. I thought, okay, if I go to that ice bath every morning, 6 months time, it's going to have an incredible change. Funny enough, I've read something saying, although I think it's been debunked now, that going in the ice bath increases your testosterone. And in the 6 months I was going in the ice bath, I grew a beard. So
No
I'm
way.
not too sure how that works, but that's that's
Well,
one
probably to
takeaway from
keep
it.
your
But
face warm.
yeah, probably, but no chest hair though. But yeah, it's mainly the habits and the habit stacking, and I took it very seriously and very literal. I turned into like an efficient machine. So it was
Mm.
really down to the point like I would wake up, I'd go downstairs into the ice bath while I was letting my body warming up. I'd pack
So
my
is this
bag
in
for work.
Newcastle? You had an ice bath in
Yeah,
Newcastle. Okay.
yeah.
That's
So crack the
savage.
ice off. Yeah, mate, it was mint. I'd be singing. I'd be singing on Aerosmith. I don't want to miss a thing. I'd be absolutely belting songs out in the morning, sending them to people on Snapchat. I think a
That's
few people
wild.
blocked us. Yeah,
I can
which is
imagine.
good, man.
So I guess like let's bring it forward. What are the habits that you have now kind of daily? What's your habit stack?
So, like, I'm doing ice bath still. I do a lot of reading. Got I sell like crazy here. That's on the go. And my nighttime read, the Daily Stoic. So that's one massive one that I've took away. I'm learning Spanish as well daily. I'm
Hmm.
trying to learn Thai, but if I'm honest, it's not incredibly consistent. I usually do it after I finish Spanish, but now the Spanish is getting harder. it's taking us more time, so I'm struggling to find more time to do the Thai, but that's something I need to work on. Obviously, workouts, healthy food, self-reflection on the night time, journaling. I write loads down. I've got multiple notebooks where throughout the day I just write what's in my mind, reread it later, and come back to it because it's like having a second brain.
I
So
feel like
meditation.
what I find quite nice with journaling is like when you write stuff down, it's then like you kind of clarify your thought. Like sometimes
Mm,
it sounds so silly, but I don't know, at least for me, sometimes it's like my thoughts are like jumbled in my head almost. And by putting pen to paper, that's literally like me unscrambling and like making those thoughts clearer, which I actually find really useful.
absolutely, absolutely, and that kind of brings us on to another point where this whole journey of mine came to. So again, it's probably about 24 months ago, maybe a bit further, maybe bit further ago. I was about 18 and I
Mhm.
actually had depression, like I was depressed.
Oh, wow.
Um, I was on some tablets, and the way I described to my mother, I'll try and draw it out. So I'm no Picasso, but here we go. So in my head, I don't know if the camera can see it, but these are two brains, right?
Yeah.
In my head, all my thoughts were like this, like loads of like I have so much thoughts going on. I want to do this, I want to do that. Why am I not doing this? Why am I not successful? Why am I not in good enough shape? And
Yeah.
I thought I want my thoughts in harmony. I want my thoughts concise and clear. So
Yeah.
then I thought, kind of, how do I unjumble this mess I've got myself in? And it was kind of the habits and getting myself in the right direction, which made everything a lot more linear. And now I think clear. It's no more brain fog. That's what it's called, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I, f- I think I had something similar probably about like this time last year where I was like just really frustrated with my life and I was like,
Mm,
oh, like, and also I guess from my perspective, what was weird for me is like objectively, like I lived a very good life, and that's like it sounds so kind of obnoxious maybe, but it kind of made it like unrelatable because I remember I'd go to my mom and I'd be like, I'm actually sad, like I don't like the kind of life I'm living, and she'd be like, you're literally traveling like 2 times a month, like with work, with your friends, like you're living like a really cool life, like paid really well, whatever. But it just wasn't. I was like, this isn't actually what I want. I
mm,
don't know about you. Like for me, what actually really helped was actually I spent like a good amount of time just like really like questioning like what is it exactly that I want? Like what is my exact end goal for when I'm like 35, 40, let's say. Um, and then
yeah.
just being like, okay, fine. If that's what I want to get to, that's why I feel sad because I know deep down that what I'm doing right now is not actually like a good path to get there. Like I might get there, but I'm taking like a detour, and that's why I'm like feeling a bit like feeling depressed. So really, for me, it was clarifying that like end goal, and then kind of like saying, okay, if I want to do that, what are the things that I need to do moving back? Like kind of reverse engineering, I like to call it. Um, that's really what helped me. And then from there, I was like, okay. So, for example, for me, it was like, okay, I really want to like double down on kind of like sales. So, got another sales job, right? And like, I really want to become like, get kind of like the entrepreneurial skills. So, instead of working for a big corporate, let me join like a really small company and like, let me get more mentorship and let me like just invest in myself, like just like crazy invest in myself. And I think some of my friends think I'm a bit, I want to say a bit crazy when it comes to that stuff. And I'm probably you're like the same, like probably some of your friends from home are a bit like that guy's cooked. It is what it
For
is.
the past,
Price you pay.
for the past, I don't know how long, maybe about yeah, my friends have gave me the nickname of main character. And at the start, it was really frustrating, but now I'm just like, yeah, let's roll with it. Let's roll with it.
I think that's cool. I'd say that's a compliment, though.
Yeah, man, find my name on the blurb. Do you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
it.
So, well, let's go back. So, 24 months ago, you were kind of feeling like, let's
Mm.
say, depressed. You were like all jumbled up in your head, and you didn't really know like what you wanted to do. Was it then like you were like, okay, let me just like you started reading these books, and you're like, let me start kind of stacking these habits. And then I guess what was the journey from there? Because like now you're in Thailand, so it's quite a long way away from Newcastle. And What was your kind of progression to where you are now?
Well, it's a little bit like going from a boy to a man, really. You know, these habits, like, they compounded over time. Um, a massive thing that I was reading at the time was trusting the process. And that's pretty hard for an 18, 19-year-old kid
Yeah.
to kind of comprehend. Like, I just wanted everything now. But nonetheless, I did it anyway. I was working on things on the side. And then I started to see results. Like, I was getting in good shape. And then I was making more money on the side through the businesses. I started flipping furniture, and things started coming together. I was like, all right, well, this kind of works. And then, for example, with Spanish, I started to be able to say like little words to different people in Spanish, seeing smiles on
Mm.
people's faces. I was like, right, this is addictive. I want to keep going. Um, but Thailand, like, I, again, 24 months ago, I didn't imagine myself being in Thailand. It wasn't part of the plan, but then again, it's all right to plan on the plan, isn't it? I literally put that on my Instagram story a couple of days ago.
So what was but like what are the actual steps? So because you were working in another company before, right? Like you were doing
Yeah.
something salesy. What was
So
your journey there?
I
Aside
had
from a
my
career.
apprenticeship. I had an apprenticeship in renewable energy. So I
Mhm.
was like, it was to be a developer. So I'd work like alongside other people in the office. I'd look for land, like large scale land where we could put solar panels on or battery energy storage systems. I'd speak to these landowners, send them a letter first and give them the ring. So it's like warm leads. And if they were interested in like what I had to say, because it's lucrative, it's much more lucrative than potato farming.
Mm.
I'd jump on more calls and I'd take the time and I'd drive down and see them and essentially get the deal across the line, get them to sign some paperwork. But in honesty, the money was phenomenal, especially in the battery energy storage systems. So it was kind of hard to say no to. But in that role, I felt my boss at the time, no disrespect to him, I think he's a great bloke and he's taught me a lot of things. But I felt like there was a carrot being dangled in front of my face and I was kind of chasing a finish line that wasn't really there. So
So
I
what
thought
was that? Was that just like salary or like a promotion or?
salary, position, non-financial bonuses. So I got promised a Tesla or like a renewable energy, an electric car or something, which never came
Mm.
to fruition. Um, it was planning that I was going to be the development director within 3 years, so I would have only been like 22, 23 by that point.
Mm.
Something I believe I am capable of anyway, but it just didn't seem to be going up in progress. The rate, the rate of promotion that it would have been necessary for that kind of jump to happen. So I was like,
Yeah.
all right, what do I want to do in my life? And I read an Alex Hormozy quote, which I shared to my story last night as well. It was, if you're stuck between two actions to take, choose the one that you'd rather tell the story of for the rest of your life.
Mm.
And I was like, all right, man, what do I want to do the rest of my life? Because I don't want to be sitting behind a desk.
Yeah.
So I said, let's go to Thailand. Let's do some kickboxing in Thailand. Let's just make money online. People do it, so I can do it. Why not? I was like, what are people doing online? I had a little research. I've seen people doing sales. I was like, everyone tells me anyway I can sell ice to the Eskimos. I kind of do a little bit of sales in my job now, so let's just
Hmm.
give it a go. So I handed me notice in and got a sales job, literally in a call center, bro. Just retaining customers that wanted to leave. Securitas, you've probably heard of that. It's a huge security company. It's called Very Sure in the UK. And the first 2 weeks I was dog shit, mate. I was like, what have I done? I've just left a really good career. But then the following 8 weeks, I was like top salesman. I was like, this is all
Wow.
right. This is all right. I can deal with this. And then that took us to December,
Hmm.
thereabouts. And then I just made enough money to chill in December, see my family, spend time with my girlfriend, my family, my friends. Ate too much, drank too much. And I was like, okay, let's fly. Let's go to Thailand.
And so
And here
you
I am.
flew early. Was it like the 1st of Jan or like early Jan? I remember you said you flew
Yeah, 1st of Jan. So I had
1st
a
of Jan. That was
had a
it.
hungover family wishing us goodbye at the end.
So like now, what's the plan looking forward? Because I know that you've said that like separately, you told me that you kind of want to like help people with that transition. Perhaps is that still kind of
Yeah,
like transition from like UK to Thailand, for instance? Is that still
it's
kind of
not
like one of
this.
your focuses, or oh, sorry.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily UK or Thailand. It's just I know how I felt that frustrated
Yeah.
feeling, where I knew I wanted. to be something that I wanted to be. I wanted to be the man that every boy wants to be, but I didn't know how to do it. I just knew I had that burning desire to
Mm.
make it. So I would just like to help other young males kind of do what I've done in a more streamlined fashion. Like
Mm.
everyone wants to feel good, look good, make money without doing much work.
Yeah, of
So
course.
if I can help other people do that and benefit from myself mutually, then why not? At least I'll be getting some job satisfaction from that as well.
See, I'm going to play devil's advocate here, and there was also something I wanted to touch on with regarding like working in a big corporate. But do you ever feel like, and maybe this is a limiting belief, but
Mm.
sometimes I feel like there are so many kind of, let's say, like online gurus and influencers out there, right? Who are like, look, you can kind of like live the life that you want, and kind of like effort and become like a billionaire or whatever it is. Um, but I guess something that I've kind of found like interesting, and I don't know if this makes any sense, is you only like I feel like you're only really going to see like the people who make it successfully. So, like for example, like we're talking now because like we connected through Arlen's group, but like you've made it out to Thailand, right? Because you got that
Yeah.
sales job, and you said effort, but you made it work. Do you ever feel? Because sometimes I think about this, like there was like a real possibility that like you quit your solar job or like sorry renewable energy job, you got a job in this call center, you're shit, and you stayed shit, and then you might have been like, oh crap, and then we never would have been talking. So your voice and like your Instagram never would have kind of like blown up or anything because you still be in the call center, right? So
Mm.
like what do you think that there are like some like kind of factors that differentiate the people who like, because I'm sure there are so many people I reckon who make these leaps of faith, but they don't. Not everyone kind of makes it in a sense, right? I'd say like we're more of the
Yeah.
few than the
I
many.
think there's 100% truth in what you're saying, but I think if you fall at the first hurdle and don't get up, then you don't deserve to make it anyway. Like, if I went to the call center and I was shit and I stayed shit, stayed in the call center, then
Yeah,
I deserve that. I don't deserve any more than that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's that.
it's like in a boxing fight. If you get knocked down, then get back up, finish the round.
See, but do you think you got that from fighting? Because like right after this call, I'm going to my like boxing class, and I feel like there's like a lot like especially now like running a small business. There's so much like similarities to kind of at least from, like martial arts and then like the world of business. Let's say where like literally like you're feeling knackered, like you're dying, you're so tired, and then you just get hit in the face, and you're like, come on, like what? It's kind of like no, it's like beating when you're down kind of thing, you know, and like all your
Yeah.
body's burning, and then you just get slapped. Um, like I feel like there's lots of similarities with that, and then like let's say sales, for instance, or like running a small business, or I guess just doing your own thing, where like it's not as you don't have that kind of like I want to say security or comfort blanket of like being of like a really big company. At least like that's what it was like for
Hmm.
me. Um, what's like? How have you found that kind of like martial arts has kind of like affected your, not affected, but like because it sounds like it improved your life in a lot of ways.
I owe absolutely everything to martial arts. Martial arts and my mother. I can give them all my credit. You know, it taught us like it just made me a better person. I was like a selfish young teenager. I didn't care about anyone other than myself, and now I
Mm,
find myself, well, when I was in the UK, even walking home from sixth form, if it was windy and I seen some bins on the floor, I'd pick them back up, or some garden gnomes, I'd pick them back up. You know what I mean? It taught us everything. It taught us respect. It taught us hard work. It taught us that when you lose, when you fail, you just need to keep going. Like I lost 3 fights in a row. Like you can imagine what the dint that does on a man's ego. But
mm,
instead of calling it a day and thinking, nah, this isn't for me, that would have been me failing. It's like a business going through some hard
mm,
corners, you know. Maybe not making profit for a little bit, but what business does make profit to start with? Not many.
yeah, yeah. No, I think you're bang on. And then in terms of like, because I want to touch on the like kind of sales aspect and kind of what made you like, what did you think there are like specific things that kind of differentiated you in that call center from other people? What do you kind of think it was?
What do you mean? Sorry.
Well, you went from being crap to like the top performing salesperson in that sales job.
Yeah.
What kind of switched, or was it just like step
So
by step atomic habits kind of style?
not really, it's in the sales job. I found myself just like following the training I was taught, just following the script. As if this isn't me. Like I'm lying to myself, yeah. So the next day I came in, I was like, let's just be myself. And I picked up the phone and I started just building rapport, like having a bit of crack, making them laugh. If I heard the other Scouse accent, then I'd tell them I went to Liverpool last weekend. You know what I mean? Just change it up a bit, like be yourself, make them laugh, like build that rapport. And I think I'm not following the script as well. Like I didn't want to sound like a robot. I wanted to sound like a genuine human being. I wanted to sound like I wanted to help them, not just throw on a phone to some robot.
Mm.
I don't know. It's hard to put my finger on it really, but I suppose picking up the systems as well helped.
Because I find that really interesting. I feel like a big thing, and I don't know if like Hormozy or someone said it online, but like the kind of like the biggest, most important thing is actually like conviction and like
Mm.
actually having that belief.
What I noticed, sorry, go
Yeah.
on.
No, go, you go for it.
What I noticed in the call center was where I was sitting next to people and they were all like hunched over like this. They were shattered from the night before. They were shaking with a coffee in the hand. I was like, come on, this is no life. And I'd be coming up bouncing. I've been in the ice bath. I've just done a workout. Do you know what I mean? I've just learned a bit of Spanish. I'm ready to smash the day. I'm ready to fuck the Monday up. And then they were like saying, oh, I can't be asked for this customer. I'm like, I can't wait to speak to this customer. I'm going to retain them. Are you going to retain yours? You know what I mean? It's like a game. It's like everything's just a game. It's just you just got to take control. Like I remember looking across, just seeing everyone's like miserable faces, and I'll just be sitting there smiling, like I'm like, "Good morning, you through the will." It's just you've just got to pick yourself up.
Yeah, I think that's really killer. I feel like just yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. What I was going to touch on is like I read someone, I think it's just so true, like just having someone who's like actually believes in like either the product, well ideally the product, but also just themselves, and they're just like that energy is like really, it multiplies, you know, that energy, that positive energy, I really believe spreads.
Well, if you don't believe in the thing that you're selling, then why are you selling it? If you wouldn't buy it yourself twice over, then how are you going to convince someone else that they need to buy it? You need to, it's almost like saying, like when I worked at the security company, I'd tell them how beneficial the security system was to me, why I love it, why I had it installed in my auntie, my niece, and my uncle's house.
Mm.
Like, you've got to they've got to truly believe that their interest is at the front of your heart. You've got to care about more about their needs than they care about their own needs, and ultimately
Mm.
that's who controls the sale.
That's
It's a
I think
weird
that's a
one.
really good
It's a weird one.
mindset. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, that's a
I remember when I first learned that, I had to think about that over and over again, and then it kind of clicked. You've got to care about them more than they care about them. Then whoever cares the most wants the sale.
mm. How come you're learning Spanish? Just changing it up.
How come I learned Spanish?
Because
So,
I love languages. We can see
yeah,
we can get into Spanish if you want.
no lo siento. Why Spanish? So what it was
Yeah,
is one of my best mates, Jitin, who I live with out here in Thailand. He's from
yeah.
India, as you probably tell by the name. He speaks Malayalam, and I've spoken to quite a few people when I go on holiday, and I notice everyone can speak English, but
Mm.
I don't know anyone back at home in my town who can speak another language. I was like, that's a little bit embarrassing. Like I'd go on holiday
Yeah.
and everyone was accommodating for us. So that was a factor. And the other factor was learning things like reading, like learning things that like it strengthens your mind. Like we work out with muscles, like we train with biceps, so why am I going to train with brains? And I believe that once I can learn one language, it'll open the doors to so many other opportunities. And it allows me to like, communicate with more people on the planet. Besides,
I
if you,
really like this analogy of because I hear it on the like I speak four languages, and so the most recent one I kind of learned, I'm not perfect, but I speak some Russian now.
mm,
And like when I'm on the tube, the way I see it is like learning another language lets you like dial into like another radio station. Like I find it
right,
really interesting. Like when I'm on the tube and you hear people talking whatever language it is, like let's say there's someone speaking like German in the background, like it's just like fuzzy in my head, right? And I can't like my ears just don't pick it up. It's just like it sounds like gibberish to me. But let's say someone's speaking Spanish. Now that I speak Spanish, my like ears like tune in, and I find that so cool and like really fascinating. And also the other thing that I really love about languages is not actually the language itself, but I feel like when you learn a language, like you kind of like dive into the culture, and like I really like try and understand kind of the people from there. So like for me, it was quite a big one, like learning Russian versus like Spanish or Italian. Like it's very that the kind of like the mindset is very different, and like culturally, if you can understand that, you can like really like relate to a lot more people on kind of a deeper level. And I found
Which
that
again
really,
helps with
really
sales.
fascinating too. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, I think it just helps you become a more rounded person. It's kind of
It does,
interesting.
right? You are right. And besides, when you visit the country, even if you can speak a very like small bit of like basic language, then you know
Yeah.
like, you're gaining respect from them. And I can say about 10 words in Thai now. And if I go into a shop and I drop some Thai game on the cashier, like she's grinning, she's smiling, she loves it.
Yeah.
Like I love making people laugh. I love making people
Yeah.
smile.
I
It's
think that's
good.
awesome. What how are you learning Spanish at the moment?
So it's through Duolingo, the most basic way possible.
No way.
Literally spending literally spending 5 to 10 minutes on that a day. I've got a few guys who I know just in my wider network who I send voice messages to just in the morning. And I've got to translate them half the time, but it's going well. If I had more time, which when I fly to Vietnam end of this month, I'm going to watch some movies in Spanish because apparently that's the way to
Yeah,
learn
that really.
if you can't endorse yourself in the culture.
Watch was it like Pedro Almodovar? He's got like really good films, like famous Spanish
Right?
ones. Yeah, a lot of Spanish films are actually really good. They're quite funny too. I feel like. Why don't you have
I
a
own it,
tutor?
so it's I should. I had a tutor for a few weeks in December, but that's just fizzled out because I moved away. One of the guys I'm speaking to sending voice notes every morning. He actually is a Spanish tutor, but he's from Denmark. So he
Very
speaks
expensive.
fellow Danish people how to speak Spanish. But I think that's something I probably want to do if I want to hit my 2024 goal of be able to speak fluent Spanish. Then I do need a tutor.
Well, I'd recommend. I think people forget how cheap it can be as well, because like that's the cool thing of the
Hmm.
internet. It sounds so cliche, but you don't need to find some like tutor in the UK. You can find a tutor in like South America who like you
Yeah,
might pay like £7 an hour for, but that's like a mate. Like that's really good rate.
yeah,
And there are so many people
phenomenal,
who will
mate.
do it there. Like when I was doing Russian, yeah, I think it was I had some. She had like 3 degrees or something, and she lived in Kazakhstan. Like multiple like she was like 30, like really like esteemed where she lived, and so like me paying her, like, it's still the same in Thailand, right? But like me paying her like £7.50 an hour, or it was something like that, like £7 an hour for one-on-one coaching and like following her kind of curriculum. That was like good money to her, and to me, I was like, this is like a drink. Like for one whole hour, it's a drink. So I
This is a
just saved
cheat.
like like 2 coffees a week, right? I'd recommend that.
I've been told Fiverr is good to learn languages. There's people on Fiverr who offer like this one-to-one mentor and one-to-one coaching and tuition.
I,
So
I did something called like I think it was called like Tutorful, and I think it was good because like they literally like if you sign up, we'll give you like it was like I think it was like 30-40 pounds credit, and I was like, okay, so I'm gonna pay 10 lessons for £75, and like £40 is covered. It was something like ridiculous like that. So I paid like £3.50 an hour, and like they paid
I'm
like
gonna write that down.
per. Yeah, try so look at that like an actual like language platform because they might have like good like discounts where they'll because they want more tutors on their platforms, so
Right,
they'll
yeah,
invest
yeah.
in it too. Do you know?
No, I'm keen for
And then
that.
like
That's somewhere else I want to go. I want to go to Latin America.
I really do too.
Yeah, we'll go together, bro.
I'm very happy for that. I mean, I'm moving to my plan. I'm moving to Italy next month for a bit of time. I kind of want to spend this summer in Europe mainly, but in winter, I think I'm gonna. If stuff goes well, I think I'm gonna traverse south. So Could work very well.
Hopefully, I'll be going back to Europe some point this year. I think I'm going to Serbia around May, and if I do, then I'll go see my mother in England, obviously.
Cool. I mean, like, look, when you come back to Europe, hit me up. I said the same to Tony.
Yeah,
We're gonna have some fun.
right. I don't think that bloke's going back to Europe.
Huh?
I don't think that bloke's going back to Europe.
He's quite far gone, I feel.
Yeah, he told me that he hasn't been out of Koh Samui for like 5 years.
Yeah, yeah. He's. I really like him. He's like really fun. Did he come on his motorbike?
Yes, he did, but I didn't see his motorbike.
Oh, okay. Because he's like got this like rat rod motorbike. If you ask him about it, it's like this chopped up thing. Like, I don't even know if it's legal. I'll be honest with you. It's like from the 50s, like proper like. You ever seen like Cafe Racer motorbike? It's like that. Like he's got one of them, and he's got this like big like Royal Enfield thing, which is actually really really nice.
I was thinking he's such a G. He said to me, I've not done the food shopping in 7 years. I'm like, that's just mint. That's mint.
He's very much like he's one of a kind. I actually don't know anyone else like him. Like seriously,
No,
he's like
classy.
he's such a like cliche, but he's also a really solid guy. Like this is something crazy to me. I have not seen because I met him in Thailand. We spent a few days together. Like went to the gym, chatted on the beach, whatever. Bro, I literally haven't seen this guy in person since it would have been my first year of university. So 3 years of uni, then like 2 years of Bloomberg. So I haven't seen this guy in 5 years. And we actually we still like phone call on like a semi-regular basis. I'll be honest. Like I spoke to him like this weekend, just gone. I wanted to come out in Jan, but for other reasons it didn't happen. But he's a top bloke.
I've been texting him pretty much every day since he sent his number over, really.
But there you go. What are the other guys like there in Thailand? Like, is there like a good community of you guys?
Yeah, so I made it like my little mission to make some friends, put it that way.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm here with Jithan, and we're just looking for like-minded people. We've got another lad out here, Thomas, who's from my home city.
Okay.
So there's the three of us. I said, all right, let's do some networking. I found some like digital nomads group on Facebook. Got a few posts in there. Yeah, and then became really good friends with this lad called Shield. He's Dutch, and he's doing some e-commerce dropshipping. He's doing really well, actually. Yes, a few months ago, we met up with a lad called Louis. He's from France. Again, solid lad. We're going to introduce them both, Shield and Louis, on Sunday morning. They're both doing dropshipping. We've met some lads who are in the New Elite Jack Hopkins group. They're doing YouTube sales. The New Elite, it's like an online community, Jack Hopkins.
Okay, fine.
So we've been chatting with them, and it's great. It's nice being around like-minded people, just wanting to go to the gym, wanting to improve themselves, wanting to make money, wanting to stack it.
I feel like there are a lot of cool guys out there in Samui who are doing it.
There's some German guys as well. Some German guys. They're helping us with my YouTube.
I find it quite interesting because like when I went around Southeast Asia, I feel like there was so many like Dutch and Germans because even like gap year kids, like it's so popular to go. Like I feel like much more. I didn't do a gap year, but I feel like a lot more Europeans take gap years and actually go travel around there. Like it's actually I don't know if you know, it's actually like in. I remember speaking to someone from Amsterdam, and it was like they like actively promoted it at university because it like made them grow. Well, sorry, at school. At school, they were literally like, no, it's a good thing if you take a gap year because you travel the world. Like, you learn to fend for yourself, right? Like, you're in some random village in Thailand, like, don't get killed, right? Like, speak to those with people and it really opens your mind. Now that you're like kind of traveling like globally, how do you feel like that's kind of impacted you from your experience?
Well, it's made us become a lot more dependable on myself. You know, I live with my parents at home, which I wouldn't change for the world. If I went back tomorrow, I'd be straight back in with my parents. There's no point in me living by myself. You know, I love to be around my family. But obviously, it's just the sense of that there's no one there putting that knife and fork that you left out the way. Do you know what I mean? You've got to keep the place spotless. It's all on you. In terms of traveling, I've met loads of new people. And I would urge people who have or are looking to take a gap year to take one. Because I feel like when I left sixth form when I was 18, I wasn't necessarily in my shell. I was still confident, but I feel like if I had done the gap year, it would have taught us a lot of things. And again, I'd urge like all my younger sisters to do that as well, because I've met some fascinating people here, like all from all over the world, all doing their own thing, all teach you random little bits of information which do stay with you. Like I've been told things from guys from Denmark, and I still think about it now. Some great stuff.
Can I ask, I don't know if this is too personal, but how's like traveling been on like, because you literally moved across the world, time zones like very different. How's that been your relationship with your girlfriend?
It's sweet. Sound. Just chilling. Yeah, man. Just chilling.
Do you like,
She knows the crack. Hmm?
that's fair enough.
She
Is
knows the
she like
crack. She
planning to come
knows.
out?
Yeah, hopefully she'll be flying out in April, but she knows the crack. We weren't even together for that long, and as soon as I met her, I told her where I wanted to go in life, what I was going to do. I told her the days I could say her on. I told her that me becoming successful, me training, all that comes first. And I told her from the start I was moving to Thailand. There's some stuff I need to do to become the man I want to be and the man you want to be with. Um, and she likes that. Who wouldn't really? Which is
No,
good.
I think that's wicked. But I feel like there's not enough guys out there. I think for us, we're in different circles, so it seems like there are. But talking to like a lot of like normal, that sounds really bad, but like I feel like there aren't a lot of guys out there who actually like really set those hard boundaries of like, look, like this is like what this is the kind of man I'm going to be like. I will accept this. I won't accept this. Like, are you along for the ride, or kind of are you not?
Yeah, that's literally it. I forget who it was. I heard someone, and every time he dates a girl, he gives them loads of questions, and they've got to answer all these questions just so he doesn't waste his time. And I thought that was mint.
What, like a first date?
Yeah, man. Literally, he hands him like a book of 100 questions saying, fill this out.
Like a questionnaire?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
That's quite funny. Maybe you
Yeah,
should
I
send
thought
that
it
to
was,
me. I know, it'd be
I
funny.
need to think who it is. I forget. Uh,
Yeah,
but
send it to me off. I
but
just want
yeah,
to see what the questions are too.
but to be honest, like with girls, especially young girls, it's important that either, like you say, they want to be in for the ride or they don't, because I don't want to waste no time. I don't want to waste someone else's time. It's just it's rare. I think it's rare to find girls who are actually down for that. I don't think they get it, especially girls from the UK. Like every man just wants like a traditional girl who's good, don't they? They don't want X, Y, and Z.
Well, I think what it like really is because I've started seeing a girl and like let's get more serious, and she was like, "What is it that like you kind of really care about?" And it sounds so dumb, but I really just feel like if I had to boil it down, it's like peace. Like
Mm.
I want kind of like yeah, like support, but like I don't want like headache. Like I want peace. Like I think that's literally like what it boils down to. And I feel like if you have that, then like you're actually like chilling. Like it's really good.
Well, you see, she's a couple of years older than me, and again from the get go, just like you said there, I told her, I was like, "There's one thing I'm going to ask for you." I was like, "I don't want arguments. I don't want no petty huffs. I don't want any of that." I was like, "I'm focused right now. I'm focused on my training. I'm dialed in. I'm training. I'm working. I'm bettering myself.
Yeah.
I don't have time. My brain doesn't have the capacity to stray from those things and
Yeah.
be bothered about something that's so insignificant. Like I've dated girls in the past that if I've been training for 2.5 hours and I don't answer the text messages, they're like, "Who are you with? What are you doing?" I'm like, I don't want that.
Goodbye.
I'm 21 years old. I may be young, but my mind's old. Like, come on.
No, looking back, I actually messed up in that. I'll be real, because like with at least with my ex, like I just gave like I guess I don't know. I guess I was like too forgiving with that kind of stuff. And like then it just like what happens is it just like spirals. Like not setting those like hard boundaries, like this is what I will and won't expect. And now looking back, like the frustrating thing, I can't change this and I wouldn't change it because I had a great time. But it's like there was actually like a real opportunity cost that I kind of like lost out on. So like all those like petty arguments and all that time spent like talking about random, like just like it's not just like the bad energy, but it's that time that I wasted. I could have spent do like I don't know, like reading more books or like spending more time in the gym or like whatever it is. and like
Hmm.
that would have compounded over time. And
Yes.
so I'm like, if I like, let's say like let's say just 1 hour a week, which isn't a lot, but let's say there's like the time I spent there, like I spent like an extra 1 hour a week, like instead of arguing, like actually reading a book, where would I be now? And that's always like something interesting. And then I'm like, I try and like apply that framework to my life right now, which is what are the things that I'm doing where like in 2, 3 years, I look back and I'm like, why was I doing that?
Right.
Um,
Yes. I
I don't know
resonate.
if
I
that
resonate.
kind of makes sense.
So similar to that, I think about it from like a monetary aspect. I think the amount of money I've spent on dates, like why? But then again, it is nice, dating girls like it's a little bit of a chase. It is fun, but
Yeah.
but looking back at it, thinking, oh, £60 here, £60 there, £100 here, £100 there. I could have saved that, and I could have bought something. But
I,
again,
yeah. That
go.
one, I'll be real, like that one, because I'll be real, like last year I dated around a lot and I had a great
Yeah,
time, but like looking back,
it's
like I actually think I spent like, not even like in a simpy way, because I'd like half the time I'd go half half or like, but just going out that much, it really stacks up, like definitely like well into the multiple thousands, which
really.
like, yeah, 100%. Yeah. And not even
So
anything
it's
crazy, because I don't drink. But like it just stacks up because it's like, oh, okay, I want to go to this jazz club, I want to go to the theater, like I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, and yeah, I like looked at my finances like, oh, I spent a lot of money,
it's the hotels,
but
bro. Especially when you live at home.
yeah, I can imagine. But then I actually say to myself, like, fully fair, like I think that was like bad in terms of like the financial, like that would have been better in the S&P 500, but what I now have is like all the experiences, and like that I actually wouldn't change for the like I I don't know if you know a guy called Joe Lampton. I'll send you some of his stuff later. But like, what I think is really like, he actually emphasizes, he's like, look, when you're young, like, don't worry too much about money. Like, focus on getting money in, but don't worry about saving it, because what you got to do is you got to spend it to just get like maximize your life experience. I feel
Hmm.
like you need a bit of a balance. I'll be real. But
True.
I did actually think that that was actually quite an interesting approach, which is like for example, like all those kind of like rejection, let's like going on dates and like getting rejected and this and that, like it actually like makes me a more, it's made me a more interesting person, like it's made me more charismatic, it's given me like loads of kind of like social experience, like I don't know, but like experience, and that will actually, I think that will actually really help me long term, but you don't see it at the time. It's just like, oh, I just wasted like 30 quid on a date or whatever.
Yeah,
um
and if you do go on lots of dates, and girls are aware that girls actually find it attractive that you are capable of getting another woman. So it's just all part of the hypergamy game, really.
yeah,
And
it's kind of, I want to, it's kind of sad, but it's true. Is what it is. It's the name of the game.
you've also got to think like it's not too bad because, like you say, you and I we don't drink, we don't do drugs, we're not going clubbing, so we're saving a
Yeah.
lot of money there. So
Mm.
is girls a bad vice?
Yeah. That's. I said that to my friend last year.
Yeah,
I said that to a friend last year. But then actually,
it's not.
let's go back to like saving money, because this, I thought this was an interesting perspective, which was like, let's say, let's say like looking at buying a car. Well, I think this is actually like a Tristan take. Like I saw it like on some Instagram or like some YouTube reel. But some guy like kind of called in and was like, "Oh, like I've made some good money. I want to buy like a nice Mercedes, right? But I'm quite young. I think he was like your age. He's like, I'm 20. I've made good money online. I want to buy a Mercedes." Um, take like Tristan's perspective, which I thought was actually really interesting, was like sure, like you maybe like the sensible thing is to like invest it somewhere, but actually like do like he was like he like turned it around. He was like, you've made this money now, this like at this stage. Do you have like can you back yourself into making more money like in the next few years? If you like are willing to back yourself, then like F it and do it, and like live your life, and then just like focus on making more money. I actually thought that was like a very interesting perspective, which I thought was very different to like quite like a lot of the other kind of like classical money like approach, kind of like to save as
It's
much as you can. What's your thoughts on that?
so obviously, I do believe in that you need to save money because that's what I did. Um,
Yeah.
I saved money from a young age. I started working when I was 13, and that allowed us to do things that other people my age at the time couldn't. But as I've got older, I've learned that it's easier to make more money than to save more money.
Mm.
And a view similar to the one you just said there, which I've just came across not too long ago, was money is a value exchange. So, say I've got currency and I'm exchanging it for a service or product or an experience, which in turn is going to benefit myself, uh, increase the will stock, which will allow us to make more money, more
Mm.
currency value, and then I can exchange that for a different value. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that, but that's a view that I've only just come across. If you asked me that question 2 months ago, I would have been like, yeah, just save as much as you money, save everything, save everything.
No, because my opinion's definitely like kind of changed over time with this, and that's like I'm quite happy to invest my good amount of money on myself now as well because of
Mm-hmm.
stuff like, for instance, like the boxing I do, it's like one-on-one coaching, and it's obviously more expensive than like if I just watch like a YouTube video or something about it and then like go spar with the bag. But I'm like, I hold my hand, like I did Muay Thai years ago, but like now I'm like, I've got this. He's like a big Geordie guy, my coach. Like he's actually, but he's quite scary. I can't lie. He's like his arms are like this, and I saw him punch the bag the other day. Snap! Like he's. I, I don't know how to. No, I know how to describe it. I've seen like farmers snap chickens' heads or like chickens' necks. My uncle's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
farmer. I reckon this my coach could do that to someone, like just as my like just like I don't know how to describe it, but what I'm getting at is like me investing in this like one-on-one boxing training. Now I'm like 100% I'm a better fighter. That's one thing, and then also like it's allowed me to kind of like hold my head higher. You know, like even on like some calls, like I've got more experience of like knowing what it's like, fighting and sparring, and like speaking about that. I feel just like as you said, like it's really you're investing in your own stock.
Investing in yourself is important. Like, be it the food you eat, and you wouldn't put petrol in a diesel car. I say that to loads of people.
Yeah.
You've got to fuel your body accordingly. Like I'm working out twice a day, so I need the food to be able to
Mm.
sustain that. And it's not just that; it's like supplements as well. And instead of buying alcohol, just buy some supplements. Buy some like lion's mane or some cordyceps. That's going to improve your brain function. Or cod liver,
Mm.
like the longevity of your joints. Like care about yourself. You know.
Yeah. What?
And
So
education.
what? I don't have them here. What supplements you take at the moment?
Sorry, what was that?
So I think it dropped for a second. It dropped for a second. I said, what supplements do you take at the moment?
As I've been in Thailand, I take protein, um, creatine, and ashwagandha. I've not managed to get my hands on anything else yet, not even cod liver. But I think
Mm.
that's because I've been a bit
You should
lazy.
hit up Tony.
Yeah, I have. I've gone to get my bloods
Yeah.
done, find out what my T levels are at.
Oh, cool.
Back at
What? Do
home,
you know what they are yet?
sorry,
Do you know what they are?
no idea, not a clue, not a
Mm.
clue. But back at home, I was taking like a mushroom blend. So I had like cordyceps, lion's mane, ashwagandha. I
Mm.
took shilajit as well. I don't know if you've heard of that.
No, I haven't heard that.
But that's resin that comes from the Alti or whatever, or the Himalayan mountains, and it's like comes in a small pot with a little scoop. You put it in your tongue and it dissolves. And what that's known for, it's got I forget the figure, but it's like 100 of the 102 essential minerals your body needs, and
What?
it's known to cure brain fog, depression, illnesses. People think they're ill, but they're just lacking minerals because of the diets they eat.
Yeah.
So what else did I take? Took turmeric to help inflammation. All sorts. I was taking quite a lot. If you shook us, I'd probably rattle. I was just investing in myself.
No, fair.
But
All right.
one annoying thing about being in Thailand is I've got to have lactose-free protein because I'm lactose intolerant.
Ah, is that quite hard to
Uh,
come by?
well, not necessarily. There is options available, but obviously being money savvy in the shops, the bags of protein per serving it works out cheaper just buying bottles from a shop.
Really?
Yeah, so I just do that anyway. And I've
No.
got a lot of them is soy based as well, and I don't know if you know much about soy, but Just
It's not great for men, is it?
nah, not great for boys. So
No.
obviously, there's me drinking a soy shake, just looking at me bollocks, thinking these are gonna shrink.
Ask Tony's girlfriend to cook you some meat, some chicken, and you'll be good.
Yeah, I'm polishing
I
off
don't
some
think he
chicken
takes
breasts.
protein shakes. I think he just does that. Yeah,
Does he?
yeah. I'll be
Savage.
honest,
Do you
like quite
know?
rarely. No, not really, because I just have like quite a like high meat, high fish diet.
I
I'm not
mean,
perfect. I like eggs.
I do too, but if you have two 30-gram protein shakes a day, that's an extra 60 grams of protein, and I like that as a comfort buffer, because when you're training loads, and I'm not,
Yeah,
I'm not sleeping as well as I should be at the moment.
that's fair.
I just feel like I want that extra protein in my diet, so I
Yeah.
just don't feel so fatigued.
No, that's. I mean, to be fair, you definitely train more than me. So for
Mm.
me, it's like because me, it's like this balancing act. Like with the life I live, like with the amount of work I'm doing, like I don't. Yeah, it's just it's not really my focus. But I want to say I don't have time, but I guess you can always make time. That's why I kind of stop myself.
I always
But
tell people that I was speaking to my Dutch friend today. He's doing great. He's on like loads revenue a month. I'm not spitting numbers in case it's personal, but I was saying it will benefit your business if you keep running and working out more. Like, he goes to the gym like pretty much every day, but if he incorporates runs as well and gets fitter, he'll feel better himself, which in turn
yeah,
is it's only gonna have a positive impact on your business. Because loads of people think, yeah, I work so much. If I go to the gym, I'll just be tired. But actually,
yeah.
it wakes you up.
It's not that for me. It's not that for me. So the way I see it is like, and to be fair, for me it's working because I look at like my workout as like I want the best like return. I'm aware of time as well, but it's like I want the best like return on investment for time as well. And so like for instance, so weights, I do weights like 2 or 3 times a week, no more than that, and I'm pretty strong now. And I think it's partly because like when I go to the gym and I do weights, like I hit the weights like hard.
Yeah,
Like I just like yeah, I go like really hard. And then like runs too. So runs I've started again this week. So I did one run Monday and I'm doing another one tomorrow, like a long like 10K run.
boom.
Uh, that I like to build my like baseline fitness and cardio because I neglected it over the last 2 3 months. I did like a marathon last year. I used to run like a lot more. Build that back up, and then I do like hit training with like the boxing and the sparring. So we'll get there, but yeah,
No, that's good. Seems like you've got a solid little routine going there.
getting there. Yeah, step by step,
Nice.
isn't it? Atomic
I'm always
habits.
interested in people's training.
I'll send you over what I'm doing if you want. I basically have like
Nice.
2 sessions, 2 weight sessions. Workout A, workout B, back, biceps, and legs, chest, shoulders, and triceps.
Nice.
And like it actually just works for me. Like it just really works. I don't even do like crazy. I don't do crazy volume, but like so like legs for example, my legs are actually quite strong right now. I did like I literally do like for my legs I'll do like 3 sets of like Bulgarian split squats. You know,
Savage.
yeah, with like good amount of weight each arm per dumbbell. Um, you get these like fat grip dumbbells too because they like blow up your forearm and they like
Oh, you want a strong forearm, like.
yeah, exactly. So it like blows that up. Do 3 sets of that and then I do like 2 or 3 sets of squat jumps, but like I jump high and I swear like I can't walk the next day. And that's from like 5 sets, which like maybe takes like half an hour versus what maybe I used to do, which is like I don't know, like so much volume. Like I'll do like back squat, leg press, leg curl, leg extension, whatever, like some
Yeah.
calves and now I literally just like jam pack it in like 2 or 3 things, and it's like, what's the minimum I can do for the most output? It's working for me.
Nice.
But
Well, that's the philosophy behind bodybuilding, isn't it? Get in there, get out.
I feel like it used to be with like some of the old school people, but I think a lot of that's kind of like trailed off now. I don't know. And the
I just
reason I
know
say it is
that.
my gym. So the gym I go to, there's a lot of bodybuilders, and they're there like every day for 2 hours. But I'm like, how do you recover? But I guess if you're on like steroids and stuff, your body recovers different. But like as a natural myself, like my body can't recover if I do 2 hours of weights a day, for example.
Really, I feel like my recovery is pretty good at the moment. I think that might just be because I'm still a spring chicken, but yeah, I'm training twice a day hard, and I wake up the next day ready to go again. I'm looking forward to the workouts.
Respect. I'm not
Kind
there,
of,
but I love
I
it.
think I'm, I
That's
think
something I can
I'm just a bit
aspire to.
fucked, a bit tough, really, mate.
Cool. I'm aware of time. I'll stop this.